What up, my ninjas? I'm Strident, and I'm here with my Young Justice Robin review. If you've listened to my other reviews when I talked about these figures, you know I hated this figure. He was horribly off-model as far as his body type, and he had this ginormous neck. Needless to say, I was not interested in him. He just didn't look like a proper representation of the figure, especially in the neck. But a strange thing happened that when you get the figure, you notice that he's got this huge neck because the rubber cape was too thick, way too thick. But I got him, my wife got him for me, and this is how he looks in my collection. Because you know how I roll, I can't stand rubber capes, and I know what to do to make a cape look proper. Now with a few tweaks, like I did, really that one tweak, you end up with a pretty decent figure, and I'm going to go over why it's not 100% bad, you know? So, this is the Young Justice Robin. In this version, Robin is Dick Grayson all over again, even though he's wearing Tim Drake's colors. I mean, Batman Animated Series showed you that Tim Drake had red and black. The comics started to follow suit, whereas Dick Grayson used to wear red and green. I probably should have put a comparison between the DC superheroes Robin that was, Dick Grayson. But, if you've seen Teen Titans, you know what I'm talking about. So I always thought and looked at this as Tim. With that in mind, that's who he's going to be in my universe, Tim. Because if you read the books, Tim Drake was the one who kind of spearheaded Young Justice. But here's the neck thing. That's the neck, the way it looks with the rubber cape. I mean, they made this 13-year-old boy look like a freaking 40-year-old bodybuilder, and it just doesn't look right. So you remove that, you get a normal kid's neck. I could believe that this kid is, a really muscular, very fit, active 13, 14, maybe even a 15-year-old kid. I still think he's too buff. But considering Robin always was a little bit more muscular, especially in figure form, this I can deal with. I love the whole idea of having Robin with a all-black cape, making it, fit the way I did to try and kind of emulate the fact that he's not 100% Batman, and this is like kind of an early suit. They pretty much nailed most of the details. He's closer, his costume is closer to the what you see in the cartoon than many of the others. I went the extra mile and made him have the Tim Drake style Batman type cape because I have to do it. It just doesn't make sense for him to be wearing this tiny little cape that supposedly shrinks and grows. And it's cool for the cartoon, but it's kind of stupid for your toy. In the background, there's the DCUC Tim Drake. You can see the similarities. That whole buck is just Tim Drake's buck, modified. I mean, everything about it is Tim Drake, just with a ginormous head. So, I figured why not just tweak it? To some degree, he even looks a little bit bigger. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But, I know my shit when it comes to the Bat family up until Morrison just mucked it all up. So, in my universe, it's still Tim Drake because I have a Dick Grayson Robin and I don't need another one. I left his cape smaller because I figured this would be the Robin suit that Tim wore in the beginning of his, stint as Robin. And then the other one with the big cape is towards the end, right before he became Red Robin. This Robin, as I showed you in the Aqualad review, he is perfectly to scale with Aqualad. Although in the TV show, I think he's a lot shorter. But this works, He fits in perfectly with the rest of the characters as well. I really dig the fact that many of the details that you see in the show, like his holographic computer system, it actually looks proper. It doesn't look stupid. I thought at first this is going to be a lame accessory because it's all, super glowy green. But, I mean, look at it. It doesn't look bad. I was kind of impressed with that, He doesn't have any storage spots, which is something I wish they would start doing because G.I. Joes do it, but they don't. And, G.I. Joes are like half the size of these guys, but the details are there. The utility belt looks awesome. You can see where the discs are. where his smoke pellets would be, you know, all the little things. Even the big pocket on the back where the big, the batarangs or birdarangs, whatever you want to call them, where they would be. You'll see it on the next image. They just recreated mostly all the details pretty nicely, and I'm kind of impressed with that, you know, because I thought that they wouldn't, not that they wouldn't do it, but I assumed that since so many of the figures are so off-model, that he would be off-model design-wise, as well as body type-wise. But I was wrong. It's only the body type. They tried to be cheap and go with a body they already had, and then add the details of the TV show version on top of it. And, you know, for the most part, it's good. They didn't really need to do too much. But his posability is awesome. I got him in all kinds of poses. I was really impressed. But, you know, like I said before, the Horsemen got this right the first time. What they should be doing is adding things, posability-wise, to this body, or these bodies that they already have. You know, swivel feet, double-jointed knees, double-jointed elbows, an actual ab crunch that works, you know, a double barbelled neck. But, you know, until we get that, this will do, because as you can see, the poses look natural. They look very comic book-like, because they already got the posability down for the most part, you know. You just can't have them kneeling or stooping down, things like that. But I'm pretty satisfied with the figure. My wife got him on clearance. We were up visiting the in-laws, and she saw him at Target, and she was like, "You don't have this one," which is awesome. She actually pays attention to that stuff. And I don't know, it was a nice surprise. With a little tweaking, like I said, the cape is the big thing. You actually release the figure from that horrible rubber cape, and that's what makes the figure look that much better, in my opinion. So if you see him, pick him up. If you're a customizer especially, pick him up, because you could do things to make this figure really worth your while. If you like the show, I mean, pick him up. The series, or the figure series line or whatever, is canceled. So you're going to find these guys on clearance all over the place. The person I really want is Red Arrow. So if I see him, I'm going to pick him up. If you guys know of a place where they got a ton of them, it's in the Columbus, Ohio area, let me know. Anyway, I am Strident. This is my story, and I am sticking to it. This has just been a review on Young Justice Robin, and I will catch you later. Peace, people.